my build of my main character. No, I realized my other streams, my audio was screwed up and you couldn't hear what I was saying. You can go back and look at my very first Fallout 76 stream and see the build how it sat then, which is quite a bit different than how it sits now. I constantly am changing my build to try to perfect it to be exactly what I want. And as you can see in this loading screen, I do have Strangler Hard Armor, but I can craft it all. I got it from doing the vault raid a whole bunch of times. If you want, at one point I can talk to a few friends and see about streaming it. That that one will probably be without audio because it's just a group of guys and gals BSing while we do something, and I don't want foul language or stuff to get out, or some of the crazy stuff we talk about. Excuse me. Load screens are a little long, but I'm on an older PS4. I do have an upgraded hard drive, which seems to help. Okay. Well. Here... the game's still trying to load in. We'll wait for my base to load in before we do anything, because it can be wonky. Alright, this is my base. I am a junkie stealth commando build. We'll go over all my gear, my weapons, and choices here in just a sec. Alright, first we'll go through perk layout. My specials are 5, 12, 9, 6. Okay, 5 strength, 12 perception, 9 endurance, 6 charisma, 8 intelligence, 7 agility, and 9 luck. I only run 2 perks in my strength category, and that is traveling pharmacy and bandolier. I run 3 or 4 perks in my perception category. The master commando, I accidentally have one of my commando perks off, and expert commando. I run tank killer, but this one is up in the air. I don't really like the stagger, and I don't get the maximum out of the armor penetration, because most of my weapons I run an stinging magazine on, which almost maxes it out. Endurance is just personal choice to me. I'm a junkies build, so I like my chems to last a bit longer. I run Chem Fiend for just a little bit longer of them lasting. I run Adamantine Skeleton because it makes it so my limbs can't be crippled and I get staggered a lot less. And Bulletproof, or Fireproof, for the explosive resistance, and fire damage resistance is somewhat nice when you run into trapped bases. My 6 charisma are allocated right now because I'm solo right this minute, so I run 4 lone wanderer and 2 field surgeon. Field surgeon is really good for the fact that I can pop a stim when I'm about to die and it instantly kicks in and gives me about half health before the slow thing comes into effect. If I was on a team, depending on what teammates were sharing and using, I would probably run Tenderizer and Stranger in Numbers to fill that out. If somebody was like sharing Stranger in Numbers, I would probably run Travel Agent or one of Squad Maneuvers just to run a bit faster. Intelligence, this will depend on your choice of weapons, but I like to run 3 First Aid and 5 Gunsmith, because I like my degrading of my weapons to be the 50% slower. But if I was an explosive person, I might run 5 Demolition Expert if I had explosive weapons. And I used to have 3 more in here because I have a quad Tesla and a anti-armor explosive Tesla that I love to run, but I didn't really want to run batteries included on my stealth commando build anymore. So I took it off and I put those on a storage character. That is the difference from my main build, my old build and this build. I am playing around with possibly not running covert ops, just because I want to see what I can do without it. But that is kind of a staple. The same with pretty much all 3 of these perks. If you want to be a stealth commando, you need. You want maxed out stealth. You want escape artist. If I was PvPing, I would pop off covert operatives here and put on dodgy. And then here in luck, comes down to a lot of personal preference. Bloody Mess, Class Freak, and Starch Jeans are what most people consider staple perks, especially if you're running mutated. Which in this game, I don't know anyone who doesn't run a mutated build. I like Curator because I run bobbleheads. And instead of lasting an hour, they last 2 hours, I believe. Well, I run 1 bobblehead. I run explosive bobblehead. Let's go to my mutations and withdrawals. My first mutation, or first addiction, is alcohol addiction. It is a mild addiction, and because I run ballistic weapons, I drink a lot of ballistic Bach when in combat, which cancels out the addiction. You can see my ballistic bobblehead there, and then I run buff out addiction, because for my perception-based build, the endurance and strength aren't too much of a deal. Then the same with Day Tripper. Charisma and luck, not that bad to lose out a little bit on. Mentat's probably the most mild addiction in the game to have. And Psycho, I pop Psycho in fights anyways to give me more damage, so having it as an addiction kind of made sense. I won't have the 10 DR minus. I won't have the strength while in combat. My addictions are, or my mutations are as follows. I run Adrenal Reaction because there's really no reason not to. The minus 12 max HP is whatever, but the lower my health gets, the more my damage goes up, so if something is beating me to low health, I get a bit of a boost in damage to try to kill it before it kills me. Bird Bones, it's more of a personal preference than anything else. I like the slower fall speed, and the agility helps with my sneaky sneaks. Carnivore is again a personal preference, but I will keep iodized meat on me, so if I don't have like scorched beef steaks or another random cooked food, I still have a food on me that heals me pretty well because I'm a carnivore. Chameleon, there's really no reason not to have it. Eagle Eyes, the -1 strength doesn't really do much. The critical damage is nice, and the +4 perception is really good for this build. And then Grounded, the damage minus is negligible, it really is. But the energy resistance is so good to have. Marsupial, anyone who plays this game will tell you to get Marsupial. Scaly Skin, again, I think is a personal preference. And Speed Demon is another one that people will tell you is a have to run. And here is my skills after all my pluses and minuses as they sit. The minus doesn't mean I'm at -4 strength, it just means I have a minus to the skill. So like, with my strength right now I'm at actually, it might actually mean I'm at -4 strength right now. But the game doesn't add up negatives. It treats me as if I was at 0 strength, I believe. But I definitely don't have -7 intelligence. Here's my random badges and collections and monies. My guns are as follows. This is just a gun, so I don't have to use my Junkies Handmade all the time. I am looking for a Junkies version of this exact same weapon. Instead of Vampires, it'd be Junkies, faster fire rate, and 90% reduced weight. And the 90% reduced weight is a little confusing in this game, because it doesn't do 90% of the overall weight of the weapon. It does 90% of the base weight of the weapon. So, on heavy rifles, it ain't so good, because you mod them out, and the mods are where most of the weight comes from. This is a paint job I got for doing a Halloween event for Nuclear Winter. This is just a play with weapon I run. I got the skin for signing up for Prime. I like it. It's a fun little thing to bring out. Here's my main bread and butter weapon. I'll equip it so you can see the total boost in damage. It's just a faster fire rate, Junkies, handmade. The movement is kind of canceled out by the speed demon mutation. But she's a good little thing. And that's it there. Now we'll go to... I mainly run my Western outfit because I think it looks cool. Can't really see it. Depending on what I'm doing, if I do the sheep squatch, I'll throw on my energy backpack. But mainly I run around in my armor plated. I have a high capacity backpack, so if I'm over encumbered I can throw that on. I need to get a better right arm, but right now it's just a Vanguard. Because I primarily play in PvE. so PvP stuff doesn't really care about. But this could either be Assassin Sentinel or Vanguard Sentinel is my ideal piece. I run this right now because it's action point refresh rate. This arm I run because I like having a life-saving piece, and it fits my build pretty well, and +1 luck isn't terrible. This is my chest piece. I got it from the Queen a while back. It's heavy combat. I'm trying to see if the chem duration on my chest piece will stack with Chem Fiend, and if it does, 150 times longer will be so good. But because I'm a stealth commando, I like having my blend into the environment piece. The radiation resistance could be better, but the standing still and chameleon was on a heavy combat was so good. This piece needs to be replaced, but it's the best thing I have right now. Charisma is okay, not the greatest thing to have. Well, sprinting is okay, but I want a Sentinel set. And it has the main perk I want of Vanguard. Now my leg, this is a keeper. It is my auto stim leg with action point refresh rate and become harder to detect while sneaking. That's my refrigerator backpack, so if I'm farming food. And then my choice of Under Armour right now is Forest, because I like the strength and perception. I've thought about switching to the Brotherhood of Steel for strength and endurance. And my current set of power armor that I run around in is my T60 Brotherhood of Steel Paladin paint job. I just like it. I think it's cool. Okay. Aid, you don't really need to know. We'll go do campfire tales while on stream real quick. One of the main goals with this character is to collect all the plans in game. So I'm working on that, and I need a lot of the possum badges. So this would be an event that I would run my combat rifle in instead of my handmade.
story is about me. A pioneer scout. I wake up one night in a cabin, and I see that I'm alone. Everyone's beds are empty. My heart is pounding. But I know I have to go outside and look for everybody. I want to get up. But the shadows are reaching for me. They're gonna attack me. Please help me fend them off.
And this could be replaced with almost any junkie's gun that doesn't use 5.56. I've thought about trying to talk to my friends to see if anyone has a junkie's 10mm.
Talking about a fire. I go to them, and I try to warn them.
I prefer faster fire rate, but if I can't get it, I can't get it.
I know, because it took my brother. He passed dark one day and went missing. But my friends, they don't listen. I sit with them to keep watch, we laugh, drink, and share secrets with each other all into the night.
That's just the fastest way to get it done.
Night dwindles on, so does the fire. The scouts pay no mind to the encroaching darkness. I track in to warn them that the dark is dangerous, but no one listens. So I go into the forest alone in search of firewood.
So, well, sprinting only comes into play when you're using up AP to move. And as far as I know, only when you're like legitimately sprinting. I've heard rumors. I cannot confirm these rumors, but I've heard that if you're... I didn't mean to touch that. I've heard that if you're over encumbered and you tap it to sprint, I've heard if you're over encumbered that it'll take your over encumberment as you sprinting because you're using AP to move. But I cannot confirm nor deny that aspect. I had a friend who was trying it out who said he doesn't think it worked, but I honestly don't know. I know the chameleon or the standing still seems to work when you're crouched, but people say you have to be standing still, like standing up and not moving. And that's why you see PvPers who are crouched and then they jump, because when you're jumping you're considered standing, I guess, by the game's stuff.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we have an emergency, or at least my scout leader emergency protocol says we do. My protocol is pulling up a missing camper flag. Now, I'm almost certain I counted everyone correctly, but we should be thorough. If we can't find their shadow camper, let's look for traces they may have left behind. And remember the buddy system.
Let's see if this is going to be the easy one or the hard one. It's going to be the hard one. Fuck me. It's still easy. It's just harder than the easy one. And the reason I know it's going to be the one that's tougher is I found the bug parts. which also means in here there will be a jar of dirt. So the easier one is you literally kill one boss, and that's it. This one, it's 3 waves of enemies no matter what you do, and you have to keep track of the fire.
All right, now, gather around. There was a holotape amongst the missing campers' belongings. Let's give a listen and see what we can find.
I'm hunting bugs, out here in Appalachia. There are spiders, ants, and slugs. Today, I'm going to complete my collection. Only 9 more Hymenoptera to go. Layla told me to watch out for their stingers, but I can handle them. That's what my new entomologist badge is for. I'm hunting bugs, bugs of all kinds. They'll come out at night, but they're cool at all times.
This isn't supposed to be a VATS build. I use VATS here a lot because, especially the ground-based bugs, they're really hard to see. Come on. Crickets are so good for acid.
Not to alarm anyone, but this is bad. This is very, very bad.
Keep them coming. I need to grab more kindling. Stop lagging.
I'm not equipped for a fight. The last time a scout went missing was, well, the last time they told the story.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do this to collect possum badges. These and the possum dailies and the possum badges in your menu are the only way to get them, but I want to finish off these 2 plans, and this is the only way to get them. So that's what I do here.
It's just so nice to have campers scampering around here again.
We'll take the rad roach
You look
meat.
like an expert camper there. I bet you've been all over Appalachia. Well, would you look at that? The view here never ceases to amaze. Admire it while you're young, kiddos. One day, you'll wake up with rusty sensors and it's all downhill from there.
Never heard her say that before. Nail rake up. Then it's all downhill from there. Usually this event is super popular because there are people trying to get the backpack mods. Do I have disease? I have one disease cure left on me, and I'm gonna throw the corn on the ground. Hey, yeah. Alright. But yeah, that's all this stream was about, is to show you guys my build as it currently sits. I am working on it and I change it frequently. I traded for these. A whole bunch of bobbleheads. I don't know how the original person got them, but I got them through a trade. You get a lot of disease cures from doing the raid. A lot. But yeah, good junkies weapons are hard to find. If anyone who plays this game has some, please let me know. If you check out this video and you enjoyed what you see, please remember to subscribe and like the video. Waiter all.